All new episode of Crunch Time coming at you live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody, and welcome into the newest episode of Crunch Time. And unfortunate news, Crunch Time will now film its first episode without the longtime co-host, Mad Max. Breaking news for Mad Max, though. We'll give him a quick shout-out. He is working as a sports director at a news station down in Texas. I'm not allowed to disclose which one, but if you have his contact information, I would definitely reach out and get a hold of him. He is super proud of what he's doing, and he is following his dreams and slowly making his way all the way up to ESPN. So from all of us here at Crunch Time, we believe in you, Mad Max. We know you'll do big things. But switching gears into the new person in the booth with me, and as always, Jacob Krugenberg, I am here with the hard-hitting Hayden Olson, one of the best baseball players I've seen in the 815 in a long time. Hayden, how you doing today?
I feel good right now. I'm ready to shoot, and I have my own special thing I'm going to do that you'll find out later.
All right, well, we got the time. Let's jump right into it. The first bill on the docket is going to be the MLB. Now, we haven't done a Crunch Time in a while, so we're going to have to fill them in just briefly with the standings and maybe a little bit of stats if we're feeling up to it. So which league would you like to tackle first? The National League or the American League?
I'll do the American League.
Okay, take it away.
So coming in with a tied for first place is the Baltimore Orioles with 73 wins and 52 loses. Same thing with the Yankees. They have 73 wins and 52 loses. In Boston, they might have a chance to be a wild card, coming in with 65 wins and 58 loses. And the Rays are 62 and 61. And the Toronto Blue Jays, coming in at last place, is 58 and 66.
All right, and then hard-hitting Hayden, I got to take a look. I'm going to cut you off right there. I'm going to take a look at the American League East real quick. Now, I know you're a Yankees fan, and for all the fans at home, you're a Yankees fan because of Rizzo, if I presume correctly. So, right now we're butting heads already because I'm an Adley Rutschman fan, the switch-hitting catcher from Oregon State, now playing with the Orioles. Like he's always been my guy. I like switch hitters and I like catchers. And right now they're tied at the top. I could honestly see it going either way. With Jazz Chisholm coming back soon, looking at the Yankees lineup, I mean, it's no murderer's row Yankees, but you have Aaron Judge, who just hit his 300th homer. Giancarlo Stanton, every once in a great while, he'll pick it up. He's kind of hit or miss. They have Juan Soto. I mean, Juan Soto has been playing out of his mind amazing.
Alex Verdugo, who can have some power, who can have some contact, kind of like what he did in Boston.
Absolutely.
Where he was a huge power hitter.
And, I mean, I think he's the only player in the MLB who the organization actually put a limit on how many chains he can wear during a game. Did you hear about that one?
No. All I know is that he had to shave his beard and now looks like a young Steph Curry.
And I will be completely frank, I don't really see a massive hole in the Yankees organization right now. The
only hole I'm really seeing is probably Chaz, but that's not going to be a huge hole because he was only out for like 10 days and he's going to be coming back soon. And along with Rizzo, who's injured for the rest of the season, and that's pretty much the hole I see with the Yankees.
And now switching gears into the orange and black for the Baltimore Orioles, they've had one of the best bullpens over the last 6, 7, 8 years. Or pardon me, not bullpens, one of the best farm leagues in the past, 7, 8 years. They're finally now reaping the fruits of their harvest, and I mean the future's bright for them. And it's not looking like a flash in the pan. It's looking like something that might be a 10, 15 year battle for the New York Yankees in that league. Now the Boston Red Sox, they're hit or miss per year. The Tampa Bay Rays, they had their one good year and they've kind of fallen apart.
the Rays, I feel like, can be good like one year and then bad the other. Same thing with Toronto. They don't have that good of a roster, but I mean their roster is stacked. You got Vladdy, you got Bo, you got Springer, you got Craig. Not Craig. Wrong Biggio, Calvin Biggio. They have a good roster, but they just somehow find a way to lose a lot.
They absolutely do. Now, I'm going to actually switch divisions. I'm going to go over to the American League West. This is one of the divisions that I've been keeping my eye closely on throughout the entire season. Houston has gained the number 1 seed. They are 67 and 56. Looking at Seattle, they're 64 and 61. Texas Rangers, coming off the World Series win, they're 57 and 68. Oakland, soon to not be Oakland after this season, it breaks my heart. They are 53 and 71, tied with the Angels, who are 53 and 71. Now, the reason I've kept my eyes really close on this particular division is because it's really still anybody's division. The furthest team out from first place, I believe, is only 14 games. And you're looking at a season that still has probably close to 60 games left. I mean, it's anybody's race, in all honesty. I do believe the Houston Astros still have a championship contending team. I believe that they have what it takes to be a good team, and they are a good team. The Seattle Mariners, I feel like they're riding a lot on Cal Raleigh.
They also got Randy Arozarena from the Rays, so that should be a huge jump for their outfield.
That is true. That helps out Julio Rodriguez a lot.
J.P. Crawford at shortstop. I also think he might be an outfielder. I don't know. But J.P. Crawford, a very good shortstop, he can make these plays like Derek Jeter over at shortstop.
And I mean, just looking at the roster, year in, year out, people habitually sleep on the Oakland Athletics. People think, oh, it's the Oakland A's.
They're not going to do good.
They're not going to do good. And I'm looking at it, yes, they're tied with the LA Angels. And I get it, the Angels are not exactly a team that you want to strive to be like. But the Oakland Athletics, they have somehow risen up against this whole by the team's moving, the team, it's leaving. I think the players on the Oakland Athletics have decided amongst themselves that it doesn't matter where they play, and it doesn't matter if they're going to play in the same stadium ever again. They're going to play their heart out.
I'm going to stop you right there. I have one thing to say about the Athletics. Sell a team. They need to stay in Oakland. Ricky Henderson Stadium, don't tear it apart. It's representing Ricky, the stolen base king. I think you should not sell a team. Just keep it there in Oakland. They won against one of the best teams, the Rays, last year. So I really don't think you guys should sell the team. Don't sell the team. If you're listening to the A's GM, don't sell the team.
And then I'm going to take a look over at the National League. As a Brewers fan, I have to talk about the National League Central. The Brewers are currently winning in the division. They're up 11 games on St. Louis, who's in second. I mean, the Brewers 72 and 52. They're 20 games above 500, and everybody else in the league is below 500. I don't see any of these teams making a big push. The Chicago Cubs, they're not consistent enough with their offense to really make a decent push. The Cincinnati Reds are still young. I see the Cincinnati Reds being good in the future, just not right now. Same with the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates need 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 more quality pieces to put around Paul Skeens, and they can finally...
And Andrew, and I think that if they get more talent on their team to help Paul, I think that they can have themselves another World Series. And another thing, don't count the Cubs out just yet, because they may be in third, but they're pretty much almost tied with the Cardinals, who are in second place. And Cardinals, I know they're decent, so are the Cubs, but just don't count the Cubs out.
And then we're going to move over into the NL West, which I know you want to take care of.
All right. This one is no surprise. The Dodgers, 73-52. Tawny's doing great. Teoscar's doing great, the home run derby champ. San Diego not too far behind with 70 and 55. And the Arizona Diamondbacks coming off a loss of the World Series, 69-56. And San Francisco are 63-63 with Blake Snell throwing not perfect game, no hitter. And the Rockies, who I don't know if they're gonna be close to winning the division. Not even come close, like to third. I think they're gonna stay down in fifth. They're coming off 46-79.
So yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this division, and the LA Dodgers playing amazing baseball. They have an amazing roster, and they truly did spend the money on the roster that they wanted, and they're making it work right now. The biggest piece that I'd like to touch on for the Dodgers, Freddie Freeman missed a little bit of time because his son was in the hospital going with his things, and the Dodgers still continued to win. And I mean, Freddie Freeman is a name that is a household name. Everybody who watches baseball knows Freddie Freeman, and if you're from the greater Atlanta area, well, you're rather upset at Freddie Freeman because he left Atlanta, but you still feel for the guy.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Freddie Freeman wanted to stay in Atlanta, but his person who did not tell him about the contract they got from Atlanta and only told him about LA, so Freddie just decided to sign with LA. And pretty much one thing I want to see on MLB The Show is Freddie Freeman definitely being the cover of 25.
And I'm just going to touch on it real quick. We touched on the AL West. We touched on the NL West. Both teams that made the World Series last year are currently sitting in third in their respective divisions. Hayden, do you see either of those teams making a push higher up, either the Rangers or the Diamondbacks?
I feel like Houston might go down to second, and then I eventually see Seattle moving up to first, and then I eventually see Texas coming into second and having a chance to get a wild card. While the Diamondbacks, however, I kind of feel like they might be stuck there at third, based off how San Diego's playing and LA's playing. I mean, LA's pretty much right now, they're going to be one to beat.
All right, now we're going to switch topics into the professional Major League Wiffleball. Hayden, you got it. Take it away. What do we got?
Starting off here, we got the Magic versus the Mallards. Starting off, I'm going to introduce a couple of players you might hear me say like their last name based for this. We got R.J. Walgate, number 22, Grant Miller, number 00, Jack Agner, the captain, a.k.a. the manager, number 92, Trevor Bonham, threw a perfect game in order to go to the World Series, number 2, King Curdy, I think his name's Jason Curdy, number 1, A.J. Ackerman, the World Series MVP, number 20, Tommy Codlin, the third, a.k.a. TC3, 32, Jordan Robles, number 1, Preston Colm, number 2, Brendan Davenport, number 6, Brandon Jorgensen, number 14, and Matt Carlington, number 3. Going on here in Game 1, the first inning, Jordan Robles was 1-2-3 in the first inning, strikes out the side, and then Jordan Robles will take a walk with R.J. Walgate will strike out the Mallards to end the inning. Going on with the second inning, Grant Miller will take a walk with Jordan Robles getting another strikeout. Coming up, the Mallards will come up to bat again with Brendan Jorgensen coming up to bat. Hits an absolute monster to right field. It also his first career home run as a Mallard. He's played in the league before. All right, that's the end of the second inning. Then Robles will strike out the side to win the game. To win the game 1. Alright, coming on to the first inning. This one's a mess on the script. Robles takes a walk. Miller gets a speed violation. Walk. Miller walks again. And the runner scores. Runner will score. Miller gets a home run. Gives up a home run. And then there's another speed violation. I'm another walk. Miller bounces back with a strikeout to end the inning, and then Preston Colm gives up a home run. A lot of home runs that were given up that game. Robles takes a walk, and then Colm will strike out. Will strike out to end the second inning. Then here comes and Miller will get another out. The first out, Miller will get a first out. His second out, Miller wins the game. Miller will win this game for the Magic. Coming on here to game 3, the last game. Winner takes all of the series. Robles goes 1, 2, 3. 2 walks for the Mallards. Miller makes a error. Bases are now loaded. Base hit scored a run. Mallards up 1-0. Walgates gets to strike out the inning. Strike out to end the inning. Van Jorgensen makes an unbelievable catch up against the wall. The wall folds. He makes an unbelievable catch. Miller is out. He did not take up on that play. Mallards go 1, 2, 3. Trevor Bonham is mic'd up in the second inning, and pretty much that's it. Then there was a call on the field. Their call on the field was safe. They're checking, and the runner was out. Robles strikes out. Mallards win the series, and Robles threw 2 no-hitters in that series. And overall, I think that that the Mallards have a good look this season, coming in at 3rd place. I think they can make the playoffs pretty much.
I mean, absolutely. And then for the fans who may not know all the little details about Major League Wiffle Ball, what are some main things they should know? Like, where is the games held at?
The games are held at the Meadows in Brighton, Michigan, southeast Michigan, to be exact, Brighton, Michigan. And one thing that guys should know is, I don't know if like this is not huge, but there's 4 teams in each division, AL and NL. 3 teams from both divisions move on to the playoffs, and whoever wins, they have these custom trophies that they make that sometimes most of the times they resemble like in a real World Series with a wiffle ball. And if you win it, the captain, aka the manager, will keep the trophy, and pretty much you can join the league by the draft or showing up to their tournaments. And if you live in Michigan, right in Michigan, or somewhere in Michigan, I get to meet them.
All right. And the little bit of research I did beforehand, it's been around for 14 years.
Yeah.
And I personally don't have a favorite team. I'm just starting to get into it now. But what I was looking at that most confused me, currently in 2024, the Western Wildcats are at the absolute bottom. They are 3-9, only winning 25% of their games. But looking back in the colorful history of the league,
they are pretty much the Yankees. They have 6 World World Series wins, and they've appeared in a lot of World Series. I'm being honest. They lost to the Central Cardinals, who are no longer a team. They lost to the Central Cardinals, and I think they also lost to the Eagles, or that was the Cobras, and
yeah, I mean they've been in 10 World Series. They've won 6, so they're 6-4 in the World Series. The Diamondbacks have won back-to-back, so they won back-to-back. And the Mallards, who your favorite team is, they were close.
I'm wearing one of their jerseys with my last name on it.
They were close to winning back-to-back, but the Wildcats actually came back and split the series, one apiece, ended up winning Game 3, and they ended up winning the World Series that year. So, I mean, the Mallards right now, they're sitting in 4th place at 5-4, just over 500. If they make a little bit of a push here, they might be able to get up into that top 3. But looking at where they're sitting right now, they have a very good chance of making the playoffs and making a deep playoff run.
Yeah. Another team I think should watch out for, I know this team has done absolutely awful in the past, but they have one World Series win, is the Pacific Predators. Couldn't get that out of my mouth. Brendan Russell, Jake doesn't know who that is. Brendan Russell, Ryan Kratz, back-to-back MVP, I think triple MVP. Alec Warda, still good. And Rudy Ramirez hit his first career home run, and after that he's been absolutely hitting home runs left and right. So I think they're one team to watch out for in the playoffs and in the season, because pretty much they're on fire right now. Coastal Cobras aren't doing too good, but they could turn around and eventually hopefully win the division and make the playoffs.
Absolutely. Now we're going to switch topics one more time. We're going to go into the Summer Olympics that just wrapped up in Paris, France. And looking at the Summer Olympics, it's one of those things where even when a country is divided, even when people may not like each other, the Olympics brings people together as a whole, as a community. When you look at the team events for the United States, you have LeBron James playing with Kevin Durant, playing with Devin Booker, playing with Joel Embiid, all the different players. Steph Curry, absolutely. All these different players coming together, playing together under one country. And
not only basketball, but gymnastics. Simone Biles doing really good. And the 3v3 basketball team, the teams are doing good. I'm not just saying USA, but a lot of these teams are doing good. Katie Ledecky winning a lot of gold medals for the U.S. I just think that U.S. and China are the two teams that they've done really good in the Olympics.
And absolutely. And now that the Olympics are all wrapped up, we're just looking back at the medal count right now. USA wins first, or the number one country, if you will, in the Olympics. But it's actually quite
close
because China had the same amount of golds as USA. They both had 40 golds, but USA
had more silvers and bronzes than China.
Absolutely.
China had 40 golds, 27 silvers, and 24 bronzes. U.S. had 40 golds, 44 silvers, and 42 bronzes, which I personally think that those are making U.S. be the best in the Olympics. Not too far behind is Japan. I think they really did good in the Olympics, and
absolutely. I'm taking a look at it. USA had 35 more medals, overall medals, than the next country, which was China, who had 91. And USA, 40 golds, that's nothing to hang your hat on. 40 gold medals. you're competing against the best of the best from across the world. When we talk about MLB, or we talk about the NFL, or we talk about, NBA, there's 30 teams, 32 teams in certain leagues. You're competing against 30 teams that may or may not be made up of people from across the world. In the Olympics, you are competing against every other country that has applied or has had a Olympic qualifying athlete, and it is truly so much more difficult to win in the Olympics than any other sporting event or sporting league in the world. And that is, in my eyes, what makes the Olympics one of the most entertaining and must-watch sporting events, every 2 or 4 years. But looking back at it, and now I've recently gotten more into golf since I've graduated college. I no longer play football. I know you do. But since I'm done playing football, I've gotten a lot into golf. It's a lot less getting hit and a lot less injuries. But when Scotty Scheffler won gold for the United States, won gold for golf in the Olympics, and they started playing the national anthem, you saw him just get so emotional and a tear come to his eye. And now this is a man who has won 6 golf tournaments, mostly majors, this year. He is setting the world on fire. Like, the guy is by far the best golfer in the planet right now. But yet hearing his own national anthem atop of the stage, atop of the ceremony, holding that gold for Team USA, it's surreal. It makes you feel differently because you know you're not just golfing for yourself, or you're not just golfing for your caddy. You're golfing for
your country.
Absolutely.
There's one more thing. I know this is not part of the Summer Olympics, but it's kind of like the Olympics. World Baseball Classic, Japan winning it, losing Mike Trout, striking out to Shohei Ohtani. I just feel like U.S. in the World Baseball Classic had a good roster. Japan also had a good roster. I just felt like a lot of teams had good rosters. Korea, Dominican Republic, Mexico with Randy Rosarina. I just felt like the World Baseball Classic was good last year.
And now we're going to move into our fun topic. And this one, we pulled the rabbit out of the bag on this one, and I'll let you decide.
All right.
Hard hitting Hayden, you want to go first or you want to go second?
I'll go first.
Okay. What are the 3 best months to watch sports?
In my opinion, I think it's the fall, the summer, and I kind of feel like the winter, but I'm not really good. I don't think there's many sports that you can watch in the winter besides the Winter Olympics with the bobsledding. But I think another month that's fun to watch sports is spring. I feel like spring is where you can finally get outside and actually play sports like baseball and all that. Baseball, football. Yeah, I know football is like fall and winter, but you can actually go outside and at school you can have recess, pick up games, and pretty much and I feel like in the spring you can get a couple friends over and just play any sport you want. Basketball, baseball, wiffleball even, and soccer, golf, mini putt, or golfing, what Jake does.
Yeah.
I think spring's the best. I think spring's the best time you can play sports.
Absolutely. So the 3 that I picked, and this is in no particular order. I'm just going to go in order of a normal calendar year. January. I'm picking January. You have the college football playoff games and the bowl games right there. First 2 weeks of the year. You start off with the Rose Bowl, Citrus Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Fiesta Bowl. And then the very next week, whoever wins the 2 big bowl games, boom, you have the national championship, right? This is what college football is all about. The NBA is going on during January. You have the NFL playoffs, which I'll be honest, as a Bears fan, I really don't watch the playoffs that much because the Bears aren't in them, but still going on.
You have a chance, but I think Caleb Williams is probably gonna be a bust, but I think Roma Doomsday is gonna be good, but don't get mad at me, but I do think Caleb Williams is gonna be a bust.
He might be. Looking at some other things going on in January, you have college hockey, you have college basketball, NHL. I mean, it's January. It may be cold, but there's a lot of indoor sports going on. Now I move focus into March. Everybody knows March Madness. It's one of the best things you watch. You have high school basketball playoffs and championship. You have the start of baseball. Sometimes it's just high school baseball. Sometimes the MLB gets started a little early. You still have the NBA. You still have the NHL.
Spring training,
absolutely.
Baseball.
And you have the Arnold Palmer Invitational, which is one of the top golf tournaments every year. And before I get to my last one, I will say my honorable mention was April, the Masters golf tournament, but I couldn't really find much else to pull out of April. But I will say my last month is going to be July. So July is the middle of the Major League Baseball season, the dog days of summer, when you see which players are really going to be those great players. You have college softball World Series. I know in my house and I know in your house that's a big deal for us. Like that's something we love.
I don't watch it, but normally when my dad turns it on, I'm like, why are we watching softball? I'd rather watch the Red Sox absolutely destroy the Yankees than watch the softball. But softball, there's no Major League Softball, so that's pretty much the majors playing softball in college, so.
I mean, absolutely. It's definitely an acquired taste. Another thing I like to watch in July, the U.S. Open. Now, we'll sprinkle a little bit of golf in there. We haven't talked a lot about golf in Crunch Time's history, but we're going to start sprinkling it in a bit more if you haven't noticed. The NBA Finals are in July, as well as the Stanley Cup Finals are in July, and the last one a lot of people forget about because it's not the Kentucky Derby, but the Belmont Stakes, one of the Triple Crown races, are in July. So I think July has a really good stance and running to be the number one month as well. You know, we live up here in, Illinois, Northern Illinois. The podcast started in Kansas City. What's your favorite thing to do in July? Sit inside on the air conditioning, right?
Yeah,
try to stay cool.
And go in the pool.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing I kind of like. And I kind of want to move on from the fun topic and talk about some MLB highlights since MLB's going on, like some player highlights.
Okay, what kind of player highlights you got?
Aaron Judge in 300. That's the one I got. Paul Skeens going downhill right now with Shoti Imanaga having a good season, having a chance to get Rookie of the Year. But another thing is, I'm going to talk about the All-Star Game. I know that's in the very past, but All-Star Game. I know I'm a Yankees fan, but Jared Duran deserved that MVP, hitting a home run to put the AL on top. I mean, NL's still good. The NL's still good, but I don't know how the AL. Most of the good players I know are in the NL. I don't know how they lose, but AL's always good.
Now that is where I will say I believe this year that the National League has the best chance of winning the World Series. And I believe that because the Philadelphia Phillies have been playing outstanding baseball.
Yep.
They're the best team.
Yep.
Let me double check real quick. They are the number one team in the MLB, quickly followed by a couple of teams at
Orioles, Yankees,
and the LA Dodgers, closely all tied at second. As well as the Cleveland Guardians. And the Cleveland Guardians, we really didn't talk about them because they've been silently getting better. They're not demanding the news. They're not demanding ESPN. They're silently playing good ball and getting better.
Another thing I'm going to talk about is the Ray Sizemore, now the manager of the White Sox. I think that might be a little boost, and I think that they're going to win a couple more games. But I still don't think that they have a huge chance to win the division. But I think next year that they might have a good run with Grady Sizemore, former MLB star who hit a bunch of home runs, super fast, could steal you a base and go deep like Bo Jackson. I just think that Grady Sizemore might be their manager.
All right, and that'll do it for this episode from here at Crunch Time. We were happy to have hard-hitting Hayden Olson here in the booth. Hayden, before we close it out, is there any last thing you want to say?
I hopefully want to do this again. I might find another thing I'm going to talk about, like another wiffleball thing, or find something else. So hopefully I'm going to come back.
Absolutely hard-hitting as always. And this is Kruck signing off. We'll see you next time.